Hey wise gamers, it's your wise gamer killer the wise. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, the little bell thing so you get a notification whenever I post a video. We'll be going over Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. I'll tell you everything you know about it. So let's get into the video, shall we? Okay, so the game, as the intro stated before, is Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, right? Our main character is this little goddess girl. She looks small, she looks like a little girl, but she claims to be an adult. She's the daughter of the god warrior guy and the goddess of harvest or whatever. So she stumbled upon these humans coming into her realm. She saves them. Ultimately, they eat the harvest food. She traces and tracks them down because they're eating. She blows up the food storage and then getting kicked out of heaven. And her mom pretty much sends her on a mission to go clean the demon realm and also learn how to be a human and not be divine, and learn how to grow and be respectful for the things that she was respectful for, because her mother, that goddess, worked in the growing rice fields every day for centuries, giving bountiful harvest. So this daughter, being the daughter of both these warrior gods and the harvesting god, need to learn how to do those responsibilities. So I thought that was pretty cool. Also, art style. Well, before we touch art style, it's about 6 gigs of size, 7 gigs, round up a little bit, that you'll need. It's one player, action adventure, 2D scrolling game with some farming simulation aspects to it. So if you're looking for a game that has some combat that isn't really difficult, but other combat that isn't difficult, a relaxing farming simulation combat, and, you know, building up your little people's stuff and building them stuff, and then having them, you have your blacksmith who's the son, or the son, create you weapons, and then those weapons have cool level up stuff. We'll talk about that in the fighting. And then there's the mom, or the other person, the female in the group, that does the cooking, so you go to her, and we'll talk about that as well. Those aspects of the game are cool. The art style is really beautiful. You can't really go wrong with how pretty of a game it looks like. Just the amount of, and the music's also really good. So if you're looking for a game with this kind of art style, you're looking for a farming simulation, and you have PS Plus Premium Extra, this is the game. If you've been itching for a Stardew Valley game, like me, I love my farming simulators. This is it for you. This is it. Hand down. Boom. Done. But I only meant to play an hour, right? I ended up playing almost 2.5. Game sucked me in. It was really easy to go from the main world to the map to this to that to following the quest, figuring it all out. So we're going to talk about our next part, which will be the farming. Alright, the moment you guys want to talk about, right? The farming. So you get this little rice paddy field. First, you get this little rice paddy field that you start. They give you the rice to grow. You got to actually physically go put the thing. You can also simulate it, so the game does it for you, but I put in a little bit so you can see what it looks like. And then you're, based on how you do it and how close it is how bountiful the harvest gets. And you actually do every physical part of getting the rice. So the next phase is, you know, in the rice field, like cutting it up with a little scythe and bundling it up. Then the next phase is hanging to dry. My game happened to be raining, so I couldn't wait for it to dry. So I kind of started the process of drying it sooner than I should have, so I didn't get a big rice field. And that's part of the strategy of the game. I could have went to sleep, rested, tried again the next day, wait for it to stop raining, actually let the rice dry out and do it the right way. Then you gotta go to the next phase. You gotta actually, and you do all these cool little mini games to actually do it, which I thought was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I was just like, wow, this is actually interesting, because in Stardew Valley, you know, you just pull it all up. And other farming simulators, you kind of just pull it all up, throw it in a bin, and go bring it to the market and sell. Right? But in this one, you actually need the rice to survive. You actually need the rice to, like, keep people alive. Not really, that's what they tell you, but in the grand scheme of things, that's what they tell you. But I know not really. But you kind of get that sense of urgency. Like, they need the food because now it's winter. Because you go through the seasons. So spring, winter, kind of skipped. That was weird. I went spring, summer, when it goes pretty quickly. Like, there's not many days in the month in your cycle, so don't plan accordingly. But there's a dusk day, no, dawn day, dusk night thing. You gather resources by going out into the world, and you can, while you're doing your dungeon run, clean the dungeons out, you're killing enemies in the combat, which we'll talk about next, and then that's in the process of where you come back with your materials, and then you can go to the mom, which we'll talk about in a second, but you can go to the mom. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I just thought it was cool how you have to pretty much go through each phase of the rice process. I mean, not many games have given that opportunity to do that, or to do that kind of farming simulation, kind of where there's mini games, and they're actually enjoyable mini games. Like, I felt like I was trying to brand the rice, and it's like, if you get it to brown, it's more food bonus, and if you do blah 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 blah, I only got 20% because I wanted to know what happened so I could show you guys. But you'd have to play more to get the whole another year, see how this game actually works once you get a full year. And I don't know. I've only, like I said, I wanted to play for an hour, but in order to get through the rice and get all the rice done, I played at least 2 hours of the game, and I actually had a lot of fun because it looks like there's not a lot to do, but there is a lot to do at the same time. Because while you're walking around, you can pluck the weeds, you can capture frogs and release them, and capture snails and release them, and capture spiders and release them, and then you go dungeon fighting, you come back, you go look in the trees for plums, depending on what time of the year it is, you get certain fruit from certain trees, like, you can go train in your training thing that your father built. Like, it's very carefree, and I like that, but there's also depth to it, like learning how to get a better rice yield. And you actually really can do that and level up and get a better rice yield every time you plant the rice, instead of just it being like or like in Stardew, you have to do in like a grid of 9x9 in order to get a bigger harvest, a bountiful harvest. You got to use the fertilizer and stuff like that. Like this game, learning how far to plant apart each rice. No, it matters. So we're gonna get into the next part, which is the combat, right? I know you guys see it below me, but the combat, this is the boss fight that you fight in about an hour, 2 hours into the game. So, but the fighting is really fluid. You have heavy attack, light attack, heavy attack, and you have a special attack, which is your circle. You hold your circle down, you do a cool spin, you do a cool hammer down. Once you level, and those abilities level up based on how much you use them. So you use less stamina, which is that little green bar underneath you, but you kind of swing around on a rope, swing around. And then the last part of the game, which I thought was most enjoyable, was you go to the mom, or the female figure in the game of the group, and you can take all the food that you caught from your dungeons and all your wood and mushrooms and resources that you got from your dungeon hunting, and come here and then make food and then sit down and actually eat a dinner. And then while you're eating, things happen in the story. Like, they talk about adventure, they talk about what they've been going through in a day, they talk about their fears and stuff. And I thought that was real interesting, because that kind of changes the tone on how you play the game significantly, actually. And then you're sitting there like, oh wow, this is kind of crazy. How, like, and then you eat dinner, and then that dinner then gives you boost stats for the next day. So you're kind of just like, oh, I get to be boosted, get a little bit equipped to the lifestyle thing, get to eat the food. I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll wrap this up for you guys real quick. Pretty much, if you're looking for a action adventure game with some RPG elements, some elements of survival, not really elements of survival, but good combat, good art style, good music, good farming simulation stuff, I recommend picking this up. I recommend it. I don't see why you wouldn't even want to try to pick it up. So as always, stay wise. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. See you later, wise gamers. Don't forget to check out my other gaming series in the description below.